This is Media Unit 1 of the video recorded deposition of Blayke Morris is being taken by counsel for the plaintiff in the matter of Page Hall et al. Versus Gavin Smith et al. It's been filed in the 4th Judicial Circuit Court in and for Nassau County, Florida, and bears a case number of 22CA000057. I'm the videographer, Timothy Lenz, and I represent Veritex Legal Solutions. The court reporter is LaWanda Mercer, also representing Veritex Legal Solutions. If there are any objections to this proceeding, please state them at the time of your appearance. Counsel and all present, including those remotely, will now state their appearance and affiliations to record, beginning with the noticing attorney.
George Farrell, appearing for the plaintiffs from the law office of Phillips, Hunt, Walker, and Hanna.
Thank you. There being no other counsel present, will the court reporter please swear in the witness, and then counsel may proceed.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem.
Mr. Juan, would you like to appear?
Yes, I was just about to. Attorney Hado Juan for defendants Deontay Robinson, Sierra Beck, and Mr. Painter. I believe they've been dismissed, but I'll include them anyway at this point.
All right. Well, good morning, Mr. Morris. I appreciate you appearing for us this morning. My name is George Farrell, and I represent the estate of Trent Fort, Page Hall, Therius Hall, and Anthony Colin, and they are the primary family members of Trent Fort. The purpose of today's matter is intended to be purely civil. The plaintiffs have alleged some facts, and this deposition is my opportunity to find out a little more about what happened on that day, what you saw that day, and anything that you might remember. All right. I'll represent to you that Mr. Fort was shot on February 24th, 2020, and was later passed away from a gunshot wound to the chest. It was ruled a homicide at the corner of Spring Lake Drive and Deer Run Road, near 54651 Spring Lake Drive, mere 515 feet or so from the Subaru's residence. The police were called to a 4th Avenue and Warrior Drive, Callahan, Florida, 32011, which is about 3.8 miles away, mere 8-minute car ride or so. Do you recall the events which occurred that day?
I remember being there. I was there.
Do you have an independent recollection of Mr. Fort's shooting?
I don't, sir. It's been so long. I was 16 years old when the incident took place, and I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to recollect facts and it'd be 100%. It's been too long, and so much stuff happened between then and now. I would just like to refer to anything previously said.
Okay. Well, I'm going to proceed through the questions I have, and per your recollection and what you can recall, answer as such. Have you been deposed before in general or for any other injury-related case?
Other than the one I'm in prison about now, no, sir.
All right, so I'm going to provide you with a quick couple road rules here as it pertains to this process so you can kind of understand how it's going to go about from here. If you need to take a break at any time, please let me know. We don't need to know the reason. We can just pause, give you a chance to step out or use the restroom, whatever you need. I just ask that if I'm in the middle of a pending question, you give me an opportunity to allow you to answer it before we take a break. That seem fair?
Fair.
All right. If you don't understand one of my questions, please let me know. I'm happy to rephrase it, give you an opportunity to understand it before you answer. But I will assume if you answer the question, then in turn that I assume that you understood it. Does that seem fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Will you do you the courtesy of making absolutely sure that you finished your answer before I start my next question? So please let me finish my question before you start your answer. As a reminder, today you are under oath, so it is though you are in front of the judge and the jury. If I ask you a yes or no question, I need a verbal out loud response, yes or no, because the court reporter can't capture ambiguous responses such as or or something to that effect, just to ensure we're on the same page. And we want to make sure we have a clean transcript for the record today. So to clarify up front, at no point am I asking you anything that you've discussed with any of your previous counsels, any direct communication you had with any of them. I am not attempting to uncover those materials today. At the end of your deposition, you'll be given the option to read or waive the testimony that you provided today. In translation, if you're satisfied with your testimony, you may feel that Madam Court Reporter has transferred this testimony down accurately, and they've done so many times before, then you may waive. Alternatively, if you feel as though you have some discrepancies with your testimony, you do have the option to read. If you make any substantive changes to that testimony, I do have the ability to redepose you to ask you about those things that you've changed, just so you understand. That seem fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, have you taken any medication today that might preclude you from understanding or answering questions that I asked today?
No, sir.
Okay. Are there any other reasons you might think that would preclude you from answering questions here today?
Other than the time frame.
Okay. So please state your full name for the record. We'll start with that, Mr. Morris.
Blayke Jordan Morris.
Okay. And what is your date of birth, Mr. Morris? Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go off the record for the moment. Madam Court Reporter.
All right, stand by, please. We're now going off the record in the testimony of Mr. Blayke Morris. The current time is 10:13 a.m. Eastern. Please stand by.
Do you have a recollection of where you lived before that? What the address was?
I've lived all over. I live with my grandma. We stayed in Fernandina for a time, moved up to Georgia. I moved back down here with my mom, and then.
Okay. What is your grandmother's name?
She stays in Fernandina right now.
Okay. What is her name?
Angel Zandal Dukes.
Can you spell that for me?
ZANDALLDUKES.
And how long did you stay with her for?
My whole life.
Okay. Okay. And what is your current marital status? Are you married, Mr. Morris?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any children?
I don't.
Okay. And what is your mother's name?
Leanne Keys Morris.
And what is your father's name, Mr. Morris?
Robbie Kimball.
Can you spell that last name?
KIMBALL.
Did the two of them live with you with your grandmother, or were those separate households at different times?
Separate households. Well, my father passed whenever I was a child.
Okay.
But my mom always lived away from my grandma.
Sorry to hear about your father.
Yes, sir.
Segueing into your work history, were you previously employed anywhere, Mr. Morris?
I've worked since I was a child, always doing line maintenance or some kind of construction. My only on record job was McDonald's, but I've worked for a whole lot of companies doing all kinds of stuff outside.
Okay. Which McDonald's did you work for?
The one in Callahan.
How long did you work there?
Probably a year.
Okay. What did you do there for them?
Everything.
Everything. Okay. And what time frame was that in, roughly?
I was 15, 16.
Do you remember who your supervisor was?
We had a couple of them, and I don't remember last names, but I know a white lady named Ashley, older white dude named John, Miss Tracy. Those are the only three I can remember off the top of my head.
You don't remember dates as far as when it was?
Who?
Dates? You don't remember the dates of time when you were there, the months?
No, sir. No, sir.
How did you leave that job?
I think I was making more money doing what I I had my own kind of business out there, so I'd make more money doing that. It was really just holding me back.
Were you terminated from there or did you quit?
No, I quit.
Okay. And then when you left there, you went to start your own company?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was that called?
Well, I didn't really have a name for it. It was just doing what I do.
Okay.
It was lawn maintenance. It was really anything outside, anything to do with dirt, anything in the yard. I did gutters, patios, really just whatever the job called for.
Did you have anybody else you worked with?
Not on a normal basis.
How much money were you making roughly around that time frame?
It'd be hard to tell you honestly because it fluctuated.
Can you tell me about the schools that you've attended?
Southside Elementary, Emma Love Hardy, Perry Middle School, Perry High School, West Nassau High School, Crossroads, La Petite, that was my pre-K. That's it.
In the high school portions, you said you went to Perry High and
Yes, sir.
then
The West Nassau High School.
West Nassau.
Yes, sir.
Why did you transfer from Perry High to West Nassau?
I moved in with my mom.
Okay. So when you stayed with your grandmother is when you attended Perry High?
Yes, sir.
West Nassau, how far did you get towards graduation?
Well, I dropped out right after Trent died.
Okay.
But I made it to 11th grade. And since then, I've graduated twice since I've been in prison.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So did you complete 11th grade at Nassau or no?
I think really I dropped out right at the end of the year, right before we was about to be seniors. But I just, after the whole sequence of events happened, I just didn't feel like school was in my best interest.
Now, by graduating twice since then, what do you mean?
Well, I got my first diploma in the county jail when I was a juvenile. But when I came up to prison, I guess it didn't travel on my records. So it seemed like too much of a hassle to get a hold of Duval County school system. So I just got it again to stop that. Because I work outside, I do inside grounds, I mow grass. So they were trying to keep me from going outside and threaten me with confinement. So I figured I'd just get it over with. I just told them to let me know when the test day was, and I went up there.
And that was for your GED or for your high school diploma?
I got both of them. That was for my GED.
Okay. And then you went and got your high school diploma after that?
No, I got my diploma first.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other certificates or accreditations or anything aside from that?
They don't offer anything at the prison I'm at.
As it pertains to your current situation, Mr. Morris, what were you convicted of?
Attempted second-degree murder and possession of a short barrel shotgun.
Would you care to explain that situation to me?
Not really, sir.
What about any of the prior charges that you had as a juvenile?
I really don't have any prior charges other than just simple batteries, just fighting in school, anything you're going to do growing up as a boy.
Did you get adjudicated for any of those when you were a juvenile?
I mean, I never really, the most serious thing happened, my mom had to come pick me up, you know what I'm saying, at 12 o'clock at night. We just got community service hours, stuff like that. Nothing too serious.
Would you mind giving me the details of any of those?
Sir, all this happened when I was a child. I can't really remember.
You said any of those involved probation, is that right?
No, I don't think. No, I never had probation.
Okay.
I had community service hours and anger management.
How many community service hours did they provide you? You remember?
I remember, really can't. I think it was like 70, 80, 90, something along the lines.
Are there any other incidents where you were taken into custody and potentially not
No, sir.
removed? On the day of the,
Oh, hold on, sir. I don't want to. It just came in my mind. I don't want to accidentally have something. I mean, I've got put in the back of a cop car a couple of times for a couple of different things, but I've never been arrested for anything.
okay. Can you describe any of the occurrences where you were placed in the back of the cop car?
I don't know. I think one time I ran. I got right back out early that morning. That's it.
By ran, you mean what?
I ran away. Whenever they come into the house, there was an argument going on at the house. The cops that got called, and I ran away. And I got caught later on, but I never got arrested.
Are there any other occurrences you can recall?
No, sir.
Do you recall the day leading up to the shooting? The day of?
We was all at school.
What did you do that morning, the day of?
Same thing I do every morning: drink a cup of coffee, get up, take a shower, eat some breakfast, and went throughout my school day.
Okay. And how do you conduct a normal morning aside from that?
You mean? I mean, it wouldn't be aside from that. It'd be the same thing I do. I just drink coffee and just get ready for school.
Okay.
Listen to music. That's it.
How do you usually get to school?
I drive myself. Well, actually, at the time, I think my car was broke, so I could probably got a ride. I can't remember.
You had a driver's license at that time?
Yes, sir.
Did you own a vehicle at that time?
I had a vehicle, but it was in the front yard. Broke. Water pump and radiator blew.
And who owned that vehicle?
I can't remember. I don't know who owned it. I think my aunt might have owned it, or my either my aunt or my mom.
What kind of car was it?
A Ford Explorer.
You remember the year?
I can't. No, sir.
You remember the color?
White.
Okay. Was there insurance on the car?
There was.
Okay. Was your name on the insurance?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember who paid for it?
I did.
You remember what insurance company it was through?
I can't. No, sir.
Now, who lived with you at the residence you were staying at that time?
Me, my mother, her husband, and my baby sister.
Show your mother, Leanne Keys Morris, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what was the husband's name?
Cade Keys.
Can you spell that for me, please?
CADEKEYS.
Mr. Keys was your stepdad.
My mom's husband.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And your baby sister was who?
Paisley Keys. PAISLEYKEYS.
Oh, how old was she?
She 2. She was going through terrible 2 at that time.
So she'd be roughly 5 now?
She just turned 6 last month.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Got a 6-year-old myself. Okay. And how long did you live at that? How long did you live at that residence?
You said how long did she live there?
Now, how long had you lived at that residence with them?
The same time. I told you, 2 years already.
Okay. So on the days you didn't drive your vehicle, you mentioned you got a ride to school. Who did you typically get a ride with?
Honestly, it's a whole lot of people. 9 times out of 10, I just had someone pick me up. It might be different every morning. I really couldn't tell you exactly.
Was there anybody that was present there that day?
I don't know about that particular morning, but you got to remember I was in high school, so there's a lot of friends and girls and stuff, so I really couldn't tell you.
When you got to school that day, what occurred at school that day?
Nothing out of whack.
Were you in in-school suspension that day?
I don't think so.
So it's your testimony today that you were not in in-school suspension on that day.
Like I said, all this happened a very long time ago. And since then, a lot of stuff has happened. So that's why for most of these questions, I really don't feel comfortable answering. That's why I said that from the very beginning. But as far as I can remember, I don't think I was. But so much stuff happened, and especially when situations like this happen, it's facts that things tend to get fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? When you try to recollect for so long after so much time, and things just, I wouldn't feel comfortable giving you a yes or no answer.
Did you talk to anyone that day at school about what you were planning to do after school?
Well, first I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not even gonna say I would not feel comfortable answering that, because you kind of just worded that different. I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
Had you made any plans for after school while you were at school that day?
No, sir. Nothing out of the usual. I mean, it's usual. Every day we get off school, we just find something to do. Hang out, go do something.
Immediately after school concluded that day, what did you do?
Went to the parking lot.
Do you remember talking to anyone in the parking lot prior to you leaving about what you were planning on doing?
About what I was planning on doing.
Yeah, what you had decided to do after school that day.
I mean, I'm sure I talked to a lot of people. I probably talked to everyone, but not about anything other than plans, other than trying to find something to do. The main thing everyone did back then was go to McDonald's. So we're probably trying to figure out who's going to McDonald's.
If you didn't drive your vehicle, you typically got a ride home after school?
Well, I just hung out. Really, wherever I hung out at, I'd find somewhere. I really didn't really go home after school all the time. We just, like I said, we hang out every day after school. There's no set plan, no set anything that we do on any specific day.
Do you remember who you got a ride with that day?
That day I was in the car with, as you already know, everyone that was there.
Okay, well, just for the benefit of the record, would you mind mentioning who you can recall was in the car?
I can't remember how I started out, but I mean, for the record, it's the same people that's already on the pieces of paper that I get in the mail all the time. There's me, Deontay, Adam, Keyshawn, Raquan, and Trent.
You remember who was driving that day?
All this stuff is already on record, sir. Like I said, I really don't like answering. I don't feel comfortable answering these kind of questions because I know I've been dealing with this. They call it a case for a while now, and it's just made me feel uncomfortable to the point where, because I keep having to go to legal mail, and then the papers almost seem, you know what I'm saying, almost like I'm being targeted. So I really don't feel comfortable even being here.
Did you know all those guys in that car fairly well?
We all went to school together. We all knew each other somewhat, some way. Some might be closer than others.
So were you fairly close with Deontay Robinson?
Yes, sir.
What about Adam Beck?
Yes, sir.
Raekwon Jones?
Like I said, everyone else, we just kind of went to school together.
Okay. What about Ashton Riggs?
No, sir.
What about Gavin Smith?
No, sir.
What about Zach Super?
No, sir.
And Keeson or Raekwon, would you consider either of them to have been close friends?
And me?
Yeah.
I mean, we was all right.
Had you ridden with Deontay and these gentlemen previously?
Sir, like I told you, we all hung out. So we've been going to school with each other for 2 years now. Well, some might be less than others, I think. But yes, sir, we all went to school together. So there's going to be, you know what I'm getting at.
Had you ridden in that vehicle previously?
Yes, sir.
Was that Deontay's car?
As far as I know.
How many other times you think you probably rode in it?
So I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
Had you guys ever had run-in with the police in that car?
Not that I can remember.
Do you remember where you guys went that day?
I mean, not a series of events. I obviously, you know where we ended up at.
Where were you originally intending to go?
Like I told you, we never really leave with a plan. We just find something to do. Anyone who was in school can understand that.
You remember whose idea it was to go over to the Super's house?
I can't.
You remember if anybody was Snapchatting in the car during the ride?
I can't remember. I wouldn't know that anyway, sir.
Do you remember anybody talking to Gavin at any time?
Not to my knowledge.
You remember who told Deontay to go to Silver Lakes Estates?
No, sir, I don't.
You remember anybody switching seats in the car prior to you guys getting there?
I don't.
Was there any mention of a drug deal at any time in the car among anybody?
Not to my knowledge.
Did anybody mention wanting to scare Gavin at any point or potentially coordinate a drug deal?
Sir, none of this stuff, I honestly, I don't remember none of this. But all these things is these kind of conversations or things that you asked me if I seen, it's been so long. And I would not know even if I did know, you know what I'm saying? It's been too long. So no, not to my knowledge.
Are you aware if Deontay knew anything about it?
Like I said, no, sir, not to my knowledge.
What about Adam Beck?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you know if Adam Beck has any previous juvenile charges or adjudications or had any run-ins with the law?
I wouldn't know his business, sir.
Same question for Deontay Robinson.
Not to my knowledge.
Do you know if Deontay Robinson knew Gavin Smith?
I mean, I wouldn't know that if aside from school, maybe. Honestly, I have no idea.
Do you know if Adam Beck and Ashton Riggs were friends?
I wouldn't know.
Had you ever been to the Super's house before?
I think a long time ago, we went to a party over there. It was a long time ago. It was probably whenever I first moved here.
Were the grandparents home during that party or were they out of town?
I think they came home during the party.
Did they continue to let you guys party when they got there?
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't remember.
Where's everybody drinking?
I can't remember.
Did you go over there because of Zach Suber?
No, not particularly. I went over there because there was a party over there.
Do you remember if Gavin Smith was there?
No, I don't think no, sir, I don't think he was.
Did Gavin Smith live over at the Super's house to your knowledge?
I don't know nothing about any one of them.
Do you remember talking to Gavin at any point that day?
No. Like I said, I've really never, the only person I even knew was Ashton. And all the other guys I really don't know nothing about. And even Ashton, I really didn't know too much about. We just went to school together.
When you guys got to the neighborhood, do you remember who got out of the vehicle?
Sir, all this stuff, it happened so long ago. I wouldn't want to tell you something and not be true.
Did any of these guys have previous beef with one another prior to the day of the incident?
Not to my knowledge, I wouldn't know, sir.
Do you remember an incident taking place on May 22nd, 2019 among any of these guys at a bus stop?
At a bus stop? May 20, what was the year?
May 22nd, 2019, the year before.
I mean, I don't remember anything at a bus stop other than something I got in trouble for. But the people that you say them guys, none of them guys was involved other than one, and that was Ashton.
And what happened at the bus stop that day?
That's on a whole, that's something to do with a whole nother situation. Nothing to do with this one.
Okay. Are you willing to describe any of that for me?
I'd rather not. I mean, it's unimportant. But that was long before any of this.
You remember filming this incident?
I do not.
Okay. Had you ever filmed any incident previous to this?
Yeah, when you say incident, I mean,
Fight, interaction.
so we was in high school. I mean, I don't know if they have phones back. I don't know how old you are, but nowadays everyone, you know what I'm getting at. I honestly don't remember. No.
You remember anybody being in the ditch near where you guys were?
No, I don't.
Do you remember anybody having weapons at any time?
No, sir.
You know if the gun Gavin used was his gun?
I have no idea.
Were there any weapons in the Forerunner to your knowledge?
No, sir. Not that I know of.
Do you remember what happened after the shooting?
It was havoc. It was just rushing to make sure he's all right. Driving, and finally until the police pulled him out the car. That's all. Anything right there is just how I remember it all just happened so fast. So other than just getting him there, and from then on, probably till 3 o'clock that morning, we was dealing with law enforcement.
So did you see the interaction between Gavin and Trent?
I didn't. No, sir.
So you're not sure what was said between the two of them at the time it occurred?
I have no idea.
You know how many times Trent was shot?
Well, once. As far as everything's out there says.
So to your knowledge, you weren't standing there when this happened?
I was way behind them.
You remember anything that was said directly after he was shot?
No, sir. As soon as I heard a gunshot, I got cover, came back, and he was in the car already laying down.
By cover, what do you mean?
Jumped the fence.
Anybody else jump the fence with you?
I can't remember, sir. It's been so long.
Okay.
Like I said, everything happened so fast.
Did you lose anything that day? Your phone or any
I
other
lost
valuables?
my slide. I ran out my slide. And honestly, like I said, when a situation like that happens, you wouldn't notice a small thing that you're missing. And then
Did you lose your phone?
Did I lose my phone? I'm pretty sure the law enforcement got my phone, but you know what I'm saying? They got everything that was in the car. There's nothing in particular that we would notice missing because there was probably a whole bunch of stuff missing. Shoes, clothes, book bags, school books, all kinds of stuff.
Do you remember if any money was exchanged with Gavin?
Sir, I told you I was not right there to see it. I wouldn't know.
Do you remember anybody wearing masks at the time of the shooting?
No, sir. Not other than if the only people who would have been wearing masks was, I can't remember, sir. Like I told you, everything happened so fast, but no, I don't.
Could it possibly have been Ashton Riggs and Zach Suber?
I have no idea.
Did anyone try to call the ambulance after this happened?
And on the highway on Lim Turner, that's where we told him to meet us in front of the school to get Trent.
By we, you mean who?
Everyone in the car. I mean, it was pretty. I'm sure everyone was telling them whenever we all said call 911, the call got made.
Aside from Deontay Robinson and Adam Beck, who else was in the car with you?
The same people I previously stated.
By previously stated, do you mean either one of the Jones brothers or?
Everyone that we talked about the first time when you asked who was there in the car, those, the same people.
Instead of staying at the scene, why did you elect to go to the school?
To get away from the danger. The gunshots, no one has guns. No one has any type of anything. We just know someone got hurt.
Was Deontay calling the shots at that point?
So I wouldn't know. I don't think anyone was directly calling shots. I wouldn't know. I don't think there was no shot callers in this situation.
Let you finish. So you don't remember anybody who recommended going to the school?
Honestly, I don't.
Was Trent in the vehicle with you?
Yes, sir.
Was anybody attending to him?
Yeah, we were.
Where was he placed in the vehicle?
I honestly can't remember. I know it was in the back seat.
Was anybody holding their hand over his wound or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I'm sure.
Why was the school chosen instead of a hospital?
I mean, well, if you've ever been to Callahan, you know there's no close hospital. And we were trying to make sure our friend got help. That's why we called the ambulance, because we don't know what to do.
Was everybody in the car talking about what had just happened when you were taking Trent there?
No, not in my knowledge, sir.
Okay. Was Trent still alive when you arrived?
Honestly, I don't know. He didn't say no, not one word after he got shot. So I honestly don't know.
Did you see what the other individuals did after the shooting occurred? By them, I mean the individuals not in the car.
I didn't.
You remember seeing Ashton Riggs at any time after the shooting?
No, sir.
Did you see Zach Suber after the shooting?
No, sir.
Lastly, what about Gavin?
No, sir.
To your knowledge, no one was communicating on their phones or anything back and forth about it?
Not that I don't know of.
Do you remember a separate instance at that time in which someone had accidentally shot themselves in the hand or arm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who may have that been?
That was me.
Okay. Can you describe that for me?
There's nothing to describe it. I already put it in the police statement whenever they came to see me what happened. That happened so long ago, and it's nothing relative to this, so it's nothing to explain.
To your knowledge, do you remember anybody that had lost their phone during the incident?
Not that I would know of.
Okay. Were you on social media back then?
Of course. Well, you mean at the time of this, or you just mean as in general?
In general.
Yeah, of course.
What type of accounts did you remember having?
I mean, I probably have all of them.
By all of them, you mean Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You remember any of your usernames from any of those?
I can't. I've been gone for years now without even the thought of social media, so I would not know.
You're unable to access your social media at all from inside.
As far as old accounts go, yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Morris, we can take a quick break, or I can go ahead and proceed on and show you the one exhibit I have, and then that'll pretty much wrap up what we have. Up to
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, I'd rather go ahead and see the exhibit so that way I can go to work.
Give me just a minute to get set up here.
Yes, sir.
Can we go off the record for a moment, please?
Certainly. Stand by, please. We're now going off the video record in the testimony of Mr. Blayke Morris. The current time is 10:56 a.m. Eastern. Please stand by.
Recording in
We're now
progress.
recording, and we are going back on the record in the testimony of Mr. Blayke Morris. The current time is 10:57 a.m. Eastern.
All right, Mr. Morris, you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share this photograph with you. And then I'm going to give you a moment to take a look at it. I'm going to mark it as Plaintiff's Exhibit A, and I'm going to attach it to the transcript. Can you see that, Mr. Morris?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. As a point of contention, this exhibit will be emailed directly to the court reporter
Right.
and opposing counsels following the deposition.
I have this picture. Actually, you've sent a whole lot of packages to me in the mail.
So you recognize this photo?
From what you sent me, yes, sir.
What's depicted in this photograph?
I'm pretty sure it's easy to tell, sir.
What do you see in the picture?
I see 4 white boys, guns, money, and toy cars in the background.
Do you know where this picture was taken?
Sir, I don't know. I don't know nothing about these people.
Okay. Can you identify the 4 gentlemen in this picture?
I mean, 3 of them you already know of. The other one, I don't know who that is.
And by 3 of them, you mean who?
The 3 people that you already know is involved in this.
Okay. Do you mind telling me who they are by telling me which ones they are?
I don't really feel comfortable doing that, sir. I mean, you know who they are.
Had you ever seen any of these weapons at any point in time on that day?
No, sir.
Did you ever see the gun that Gavin was holding that day?
I never seen it.
Did you at any point discuss this incident with anybody prior to giving your deposition today?
No, sir. No.
Ms. Awan, do you have any questions for the deponent?
I do, yes. Are you done with your questions?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hi,
Mr.
Mr.
Morris.
Morris.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Give me one. I can't see you. I'm still looking at this picture.
Yeah, give me 1 second to get my camera up. I've been having some issues, so give me just 1 second to fix it, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Probably have Mr. Farrell go out of screen sharing mode as well.
Yeah, it says you're viewing George Farrell's screen.
Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I don't have a lot of questions. I won't take a lot of your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we on the record? Are we good to proceed?
Yep, we are.
Okay, great. So I
She may have frozen up.
Okay.
trying to gather as much information as possible. So some of these questions may seem a little simple, but I apologize in advance. So on the date of the incident, you were in the car. Where did you all go from school?
You mean from after we got out of school, or you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. When you got out of school, where did you all go?
I can't remember exactly where we went. Honestly, everything. Yeah, like I said before, when you in school, you riding around with your homeboy, y'all might go all over the place. So I honestly couldn't tell you.
Sure. When you got to where you were going, did you all get out of the car? Or did you remain in the car?
I mean, as you already know, some people got out the car, some people got in, but I don't feel comfortable recollecting on the past. It's been too long.
I understand. Do you remember who got out of the car?
I can't, no, man.
Okay. Do you remember if Trent Fort got out of the car?
Like I said, I really don't feel comfortable answering these kind of questions.
Okay. Did you get out of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Gavin Smith ever get in the car?
Well, as we already know, it seems like he did.
I'm sorry, you said he did get in the car?
It seems like it.
Okay. Where did the shooting occur specifically?
Somewhere right there at the stop sign.
Okay, and again, did it occur outside of the car, or was he shot in the car?
Ma'am, all that happened so fast. I wasn't even right there to peep everything, see everything. Okay. So I couldn't tell you and be truthful.
Okay. After the shooting, did you have to move Mr. Fort into the car?
I didn't.
Do you know who did?
I don't. I was not right there.
Okay. But he was moved into the car?
Honestly, I couldn't, once again, I couldn't tell you and be truthful because I wasn't right there to see the whole thing. So I don't know if he got moved, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I wasn't right there to see any of this.
Okay. Do you know who would know that information?
I don't.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any further questions. Thank you for your time today.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any rebuttal questions for that. Mr. Morris, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you appearing and going through the deposition with us.
Yes, sir. I ain't no problem.
All right, so both counsel at this point indicate that the testimony and the deposition of Mr. Blayke Morris is concluded.
Yes.
Yes.
Please stand by. This concludes today's testimony given by Blayke Morris. The total number of media units used in its recording was 1. It will be retained by Veritex Legal Solutions. We're now off the video record and the time is 11:05 a.m. Eastern. Please stand by.